Hey guys, Jen with Astro T. Today we are talking about Saturn going retrograde, and that's happening on the 26th of this month at 19 degrees Pisces, and that will be retrograde until November 15th when it goes back to 12 degrees, to the 12th degree. So personally, I don't find Saturn in Pisces all that much fun, really. Saturn is about structure, stability, maturity, responsibility, reasoning, logic, and Pisces not about any of those things. It's a Jupiter and Neptune ruled sign, so it's skewed boundaries, it's escapism, escaping from reality, instinct over reason, and just like that mutable foundation. So it's like nothing's really like set in stone. It's kind of, everything's kind of, whatever. So as a Capricorn rising myself, it has been increasingly frustrating. What's real? What's delusion? What's going on? I don't know. But the retrograde's going to keep it just that much longer. So anyway, we'll deal with it. Earth and water, it turns to mud, So now with the retrograde, we're just raking back and forth through that mud. We're going to go over this 3 times. So if you got things in Pisces, luminaries, personal planets, if you're a Pisces rising, all that, you're going to feel it a little bit more, and it's just going to keep going back and forth over. This happens, so this is going to, the pre-shadow was back in about March 24th, actually. And this is every year with Saturn. So that's why it is in these, places for a long time, because it goes retrograde, kind of stations. It's very slow moving, and then it takes time to get going again. So, and if we do have a lot of people with Saturn retrograde in their birth chart, so it all just kind of plays out differently for all of us. So Saturn is about getting what you work for. It is, you put in the work, you make Saturn happy. And as it begins stationing, we may be feeling like we need to really assess what's important to us, or reassess what's important to us. Maybe we've been putting focus and, priorities on things that really aren't priorities, and we really need to kind of think about, tradition and going back to what is really important, because things, again, get a little bit skewed. So we also feel a shift in responsibility. Maybe things are weighing heavily on you. Your motivation might have slowed. Maybe you're just kind of just feeling like you're walking in the mud, just kind of trudging along in life, not really motivated, not really moving. So that's just going to kind of continue. So you're just going to kind of go back and reassess this stuff. When the further out planets, they go retrograde, it happens so much that you don't feel it quite as much, but still, if you've been overly rigid, mean, with the retrograde, it might be time for a little bit of, contrition or remorse for that. Gossipy, that kind of thing. If you've been, it's a planet about karma. So if you give out bad karma, you're going to get that back. And Saturn's going to be like, you know what? This is what you get. You get what you work for. You get what you put in the work. And, it's just, if you expel goodness, you're going to get goodness back. If you expel negativity and animosity, you're going to get that back. So, if you've been acting responsible, you've been acting wise, disciplined, patient, well, in that case, it can be a karmic reward. Other than that, it could be a karmic payback, pretty much. So, this is also a time of restructuring. So if you've been working on something, if you've been, even building something, if you've been building a career, if you've been building maybe a new, profession, if you've been building anything, building a relationship, all that is maybe going to be a little bit of restructuring. So maybe you want to go back, kind of fine tune things a little bit. How can we use this wisdom and knowledge that we've learned to really grow our relationship, to grow our business, get it on a good footing, get it on a good platform, and, our home and family, anything that you've been, might have been a little bit unstable, you want to be able to look back, reassess things, and then be able to move forward with confidence. So what does this mean if you are going through your Saturn return? Everyone heard of Saturn returns. That's the big, grow up part of your life. And the reason I bring this up is because my daughter is going through hers pretty much as we speak. So it's going to be raking back and forth over her Saturn. My son has just finished his. They're about 15 months apart. So, it does go close. They're close together. The Saturn was close together, but he just finished his. His Saturn is in his 5th house. And it's got pretty good aspects to it. So everything went pretty well for him. He got married. He has a baby, 5th house. So, it's a lot of new relationships, having children. So, that's exactly pretty much spelled out of how his kind of went. And that's what he worked towards, and that's what he ended up getting. My daughter's, who's going retrograde, his was just all forward, is nice, quick, easy. My daughter's is in her 9th house. So 9th house is, learning lessons, maybe hard lessons, Saturn, finding or exploring new religions, or traveling. She has learned a lot and has really grown and matured in, the past few months. I'm hoping the retrograde going back and forth just keeps her reassessing, keeps regrowing, keeps rethinking, so she doesn't take anything for granted, and just continues to build that strong foundation, and has that positive karma that she's destined for. If she manifests positivity, she's going to gain positivity. It's all about putting in the work. Not taking things for granted. So at this time, she, now that it's retrograde, she can rethink her choices. So with this, you can really understand what you get is what you give. You reap what you sow, good or bad. So it also reminds me of the movie Flatliners. So of course the 80s version, not the nowadays version. And when I saw that movie, it really just, the dreams that they had when they were regressed or put, I guess, dead for a little while, came back to literally haunt them. And I remember watching it thinking, I will never pick on anybody or bully anybody because this bad karma is going to come back. And it's just, the movie is just like Saturn in a nutshell, pretty much. It's kind of in an extreme way, but still. For me, this is in my 3rd house, and I know I do have to communicate better. That's something I know. Revisiting what I might have said, what I might have done, getting closer maybe with my siblings if we've kind of, gotten separated, extending out to neighbors a little bit more, and just really kind of just giving out good to get back good, giving out positivity to get back positivity. Of course, just don't do it for selfish reasons, just like that. You want to do it because it feels good to give out goodness. So that's all on a personal level. So that's all how it could be working with you personally. You want to see where it falls in your chart, what house it's in, and what area of your life that it's going to affect. Now we're going to look on kind of a broader scale. We're going to look at the United States and how this could be affecting our candidates. So for the US, first of all, in the US Sibley chart, this is happening in its 4th house. So it's quite telling how we are going through a building and restructuring here in the United States. We're kind of going back to, old laws that were passed, the Bill of Rights, changes in laws, bills, refining, redefining, those types of things, kind of, adding things to the, Second Amendment, to, things like that, maybe that weren't expected back when they were first, and now it has to kind of be restructured. And we see that going on in the United States right now, and that would be in the United States 4th house. So then how about our wonderful candidates? So for Biden, this is in his 4th house, so home and family. We look at the trial that just happened with people in his family, and I'm sure it really just shook the foundation of his family, of the Biden family. For Trump, this is in his 8th house. There's a lot of other stuff going around. We're going to do other videos about that too, but just kind of in a nutshell, this is in Trump's 8th house. Now this can mean a lot of things, a lot of paying back of money owed, and we see that's very obvious, or lawsuits, or it could mean an unseen threat maybe. So it's interesting. Now I don't have a super reliable birth time for RFK Jr., but if the one I have is correct or is in really close, this is in his fourth house as well. And he is making waves. If it makes sense, he is making waves in his family because of his stances on a lot of different things that don't jive with that family's history, that dynasty that's always been around and been huge here in the United States. So lastly, I even looked at Kamala Harris's chart because I had a good time for it. This is in her house, her 10th house of career. So it's conjuncting her Chiron. So to me, this could mean a couple different things. Is she going to, is this going to be a weakness that's going to come out, or is she going to finally settle those weaknesses? And, because you hear a lot of people talking, oh, she's always laughing and she's not serious and she's not good at this or that. Maybe this is going to be her restructuring that's going to make her come out on top and be a little bit more prominent, maybe reintroduced as a new kind of candidate in case, Biden, who is getting older, can't really, or an alternative. Or she could be a little bit more authoritarian, maybe not so quite jokey. So I think this could mean a lot. So maybe the things that the Chiron that could be bringing her down could be actually, helping in this. So I want to hear your comments. So please leave your comments in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you guys all think about this. Saturn returns, the Saturn going retrograde. How you guys all think about Saturn. I personally like Saturn. It doesn't really do me too dirty as a Capricorn rising anyway, and Saturn is always in its exaltation in Libra, and I'm a Libra sun, so Saturn is always nice to me. But we want to stay tuned as we fine tune the candidates. I'm going to come out with different little videos about that, so you definitely want to subscribe. You want to hit the notification bell, get notified, and tell some friends, because let's spread the word. This stuff is happening. If you're feeling some sort of way, if your friends are feeling some sort of way, there's a reason for it, and that could be it. It could just be they're going through some Saturn crap. So I hope to see y'all soon, guys, and have a good Saturn retrograde. Bye.